Good morning from Level Canyon. The sun's in my eyes, so I've got my hat pulled down. Hope that doesn't bother you. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and I felt like I should be productive by shooting my van tour. So, as you may know from my prior videos, I travel in a 2016 Transit Connect low top long wheelbase, very tiny van. The back cargo area is about 4 by 8, so there is not much room in there. Now, I've had some professional modifications made to the outside. On each slider door, I had some RV windows installed. These are CR Lawrence windows, and they have screens. They slide open and shut from the inside, and they are kind of a game changer when they're used in conjunction with my MaxxAir fan. And there's my MaxxAir fan. It's pretty much the lowest model they make. It's manual. I don't need to use a remote control in such a tiny van. When I take the Reflectix down, open a window up, turn the fan on, I get wonderful cross breeze cooling air, and it makes such a difference than when I first had the van without any modifications. I camped in it for about a year in just the cargo part. I have two 100-watt solar panels, Renogy solar panels mounted to the roof. So the solar panels are another game changer. I have a Bluetti, a 750-watt one. There is my Bluetti, which has several AC outlets. It has 12 volt, it has a cigarette lighter plug, it has a smaller around 12 volt thing, which I've got my fan plugged into, and it's got USB. I'm going to show you the garage area. I'm going to open up the back of the van now. So with one door open, you can see a big circle or half of a circle, and that is my Alventor tent. When I open the other door, it's at risk of falling out. Oh yay, the Alventor didn't fall out. And the reason I've got it packed and not set up is I am in southern Nevada, where A, it gets super windy, and B, the ground is hard as a rock. It's great for softer ground, forested areas, and places where you just want to avoid bugs. There it goes! Haha, I told you the thing would fall out. And I am totally leaving that in there as a blooper. Now, what else can you see back here is my Kenai cooler, which actually functions as part of my bed. The flower crochet thing is, those are two milk crates which are zip tied together and screwed into the floor. The bottom part has my Bluetti in it, and the top part is lightweight stuff, and then I can use the top of it as a little bedside table. In that little nook, you can see my Alventor stakes, and I also can slide my butane camp stove right in there, and that's where I store it when I travel. Also about the floor, it is plywood. I don't remember, 3/4 inch maybe. And underneath the plywood, the van came with a rubber soundproofing type floor already in it. So originally we just had the subfloor in there and some indoor-outdoor carpet, but that stuff gets really filthy and you can't really vacuum inside a short van very well. So we had some flooring pieces left over from the tiny house / she shed that we put in my parents' backyard. It's a vinyl composite flooring that just snaps together really easily. I mean, you don't even have to glue it down. It snaps and floats. And in a stroke of serendipity, the panels were 4 feet wide. And there is 4 feet between the two wheel wells. So it fit perfectly between the wheel wells. We didn't have to cut it. Then I just have a cheap piece of carpet mat that we can pull out, shake, wash, do whatever we want with, replace as we need to. Okay, I ran into a little camera trouble, so I'm just going to put a little voiceover. I was trying to show you my water storage. Okay, it's not exactly a sink, but it is running water, and it's a good way to carry a good bit of water in a small space. That black thing is new. It's an ottoman. I can sit on this and sit up in my van without having to hunch, which I cannot do on my bed, which I'll explain in a minute. Anyway, inside that is where I've been storing my clothes. Notice I've got everything hanging with magnets because my walls are not insulated. The reason my walls aren't insulated is there aren't many walls in a Transit Connect. You have a rear door. You have a driver's side slider, a passenger side slider, and that's it in the cargo area. There's really not much to insulate. Yes, it gets cold in here. That's why I carry the extra warm sleeping bags. But speaking of insulation, the one thing I did have done was have an insulated ceiling panel put on. By doing this, I lost a huge amount of headspace and I'll explain that in a minute. I wanted to show you my lights before I forget. I have LED strip lights mounted all around. Got them super, super cheap on Amazon last year. So going back to my ceiling panel issue, the way these Transit Connects work is you have support bars that come down and run across, and they're several inches deep. And my panel is mounted on top of those. So I lost several inches of headspace when I had that done. But it was still worth having done because now I've only got cold radiating in from the sides and not so much from the top. This thing was an ice box in the winter. Now it's still pretty damn cold in the winter at night, but not as bad as before I had the ceiling insulated. So this is the passenger side, and because my bed runs along the passenger side, I don't really get in and out from there very often. It's a lot easier to step in from the other side. So I decided to make use of that little bit of space. And right now I've just got a lap desk fastened in there, but my camping chair, I put the table down, I fold up this camping chair, which I got really cheap at Harbor Freight, and it fits right in there. I'll put it behind the desk, and then I can travel with it, and it's not taking up room in the back. Okay, I just went ahead and packed up my chair so that you could see it. Now I'm going to shut the door. Hey, it fit perfectly. All right, elephant in the room. You didn't see a toilet in there, but normally there is a toilet in there, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute. I'm out in Level Canyon. There aren't a lot of people going by, so I take my toilet out during the day. And no, I don't poop and leave it. I do pack it out. And whether or not I empty my pee outside, well, you can think about that. It's just adding nitrogen to the soil, and it's perfectly legal to dump urine, but not feces. Do not ever dump your poop out in nature. Either dig a hole 6 feet deep away from water and bury it, packing out your toilet paper, or just pack out your poop and take it somewhere. I treat mine with chemicals called Eco Gel. I'll show you that in a minute, and I pack it out. My little tiny toilet bucket. I used to have a 5-gallon bucket. It takes up so much space. Somebody told me about these. It is a fold-up. I think it's probably 2 gallons. It does have a lid. It does have a seat. I'm not going to open it up because you don't want to see what might be in there because I haven't packed it out yet. But I do keep this in the front of my van. I mean, in the back of the van behind the driver's seat. In travel mode, I would clear out my water bottle, the little tiny water bottle, and the packet, which has got the Eco Gel in it. And I would put my toilet right in there. And that's what my Eco Gel looks like. Comes in little packets. There's other brands out there. You can get them in boxes with scoops. I like the little packets. Not terribly cheap, but well worth it. All right, now it's time to talk about my bed. My bed consists of large milk crates, which I purchased legally online. There is a company in the United States that manufactures milk crates. You can buy them directly from the company. Actually, I did buy them from their Amazon store because the shipping was cheaper, and I can't remember what they cost, but I can look that up later and let you know. Here's kind of a view. I've bought those bins at Target to slide in the milk crates. So on the driver's side, they all face out so that I can easily access things. Partly pulled one out. That one has got food in it. That one's got food in it. The next one, which is, gosh, I know the lighting's really bad. The one that's, hold on a minute. There has kitchen gear in it. And then there is a fourth one that you can't see because it's blocked by the ottoman. And it has just extra stuff that I don't access very often, utility stuff. I forgot to explain it, but the bed has 2 rows of milk crates, and the second row is up against the passenger side. Can't really see them well. The 2 that I can actually access without being blocked by the wheel well, those contain cleaning supplies and things like that. See it, but there are 2 more that are blocked by the wheel well. Those are actually facing up so that I can lift my bed and access the stuff in there. One of them's got the recovery gear, like the air compressor and my shovel and my axe, things like that. And the other one has extra blankets, and when I don't need the mummy, it gets stuffed into the one that you can't see. And again, the kanai is the foot of the bed. So what is my mattress made out of, you might ask? Well, let's take a look. So I've lifted it up. You can see I've got a Thermarest, a luxury map, USA built, and this one is about 4 inches, and it's got quite a lot of insulation. And my foam was kind of hunched up. I just pulled it out. No wonder it was a little lumpy last night. Underneath the Thermarest, I have about 1.5 inches of memory foam just to add a little extra padding because I wanted to protect the Thermarest from the bumps in the milk crates and also have a softer sleeping experience. So believe it or not, the milk crate bed with the thermarest and the foam is very comfortable. So the milk crate solution allows me to compartmentalize and really organize my storage really, really well, which is really important on long camping trips. I'm not skilled with tools, which is why I ultimately went with the milk crates. They're literally zip tied together and screwed into the floor. And then I did put a curtain up to separate the cab from the back. This side has got the cute camping fabric. The front is black. And I'm probably going to have to add some side panels eventually. But honestly, there's no stealth in a Transit Connect once you put in a fan and solar panels. I wouldn't fool anybody in a city. It's mostly to keep people from peeking back as they walk by to see what I've got back here. Now I'm sitting on my bed, but I'm very, very hunched. It's a very bad position for the neck and back, and that's because I told you about the ceiling panel. Sorry, my thumb key. That's a Christina Nomad Extender feature, having part of the hand in the way. When I do selfie shots and videos, I keep getting my fingers in the way. Sorry about that. I'm not going to bother reshooting that because it's becoming part of almost every video I do. But now I am sitting on the ottoman and I can sit up pretty straight. It still wouldn't be comfortable to work even on that lap desk. But at least if the wind's blowing or it's raining, I can be in the back and sit up straight and not have to lie down or be terribly hunched. And to keep it honest, I have the passenger driver seat filled full of junk in parking mode. What I can do is pull all the stuff out of the passenger seat. I often throw it up on the dashboard or throw some of it in the back. Then I can sit up in the passenger seat. Like last night, I sat up there and watched a movie. Oh, and for window shades, I just bought heat shields online. One of the things we have not addressed in my van tour is kitchen. I don't have an inside kitchen. When you have 8 by 4 feet of cargo space and sleeping space, it is, in my opinion, not safe to run a stove inside a small Transit Connect. So on days like today, I have a camp table set up. It's a Coleman folding table. And then I have the Coleman 1-burner butane stove, which butane can be problematic at low temperatures. It stops vaporizing at 31 degrees, but even at 30 to 34 degrees, you don't get much heat coming out. It takes forever for water to boil. Something to keep in mind. Propane is probably better, but I have a butane stove. I don't like propane, don't ask me why. Because I do sometimes require cooking in my back, like if there's windy weather or bad weather. I have 2 devices, which I've talked about in other videos, and I'll probably do separate videos on each one. I have a very small Aroma rice cooker, and it's great for 1 person, and you can do a lot of things in a rice cooker aside from make rice. And I have my Hot Logic Mini, which I absolutely love. It's like a very, very, very slow cooker. And if the weather's really bad and I'm not getting my gas out, I have a USB blender, which I can make iced coffee with. I can also make smoothies and things with it. Okay, there's 2 more things about my van tour I forgot to show you. And the first one is this, what I call annoying Ford feature. So my slider door is open. My key is around my neck. It's not in the ignition. This van does not have auto start or anything like that. And as you can see, the parking lights are on. And they will not go off for about 12 minutes or so. And that's just a Ford feature. Anytime you open any door, the lights come on. And that's something to bear in mind if you're going to be boondocking in one spot for a long time. I talked to Ford and I asked them about turning this off. The word on some van forums I researched a couple years ago said that there is a way for Ford to go into the computer and turn this car into dark mode where the lights won't come on. My dealer said no. And they also told me, hey, you'd have to open and close these doors, you know, several hundred times for it to affect your battery. And so far, I've not had a problem. I try not to open them and leave them open too many times during a trip because I don't want them to keep coming on. Even if I have one door open and the lights are on, if I open any other door, the countdown to the 12 or 13 minutes starts again. And that's a really annoying Ford feature. I shut the door, the headlights went off. The light in the back of the cargo area will go off very shortly. There it goes. See how it went off. Well, thank you for watching my van tour video. Spoiler alert, I no longer own that van, but I decided to post it anyway so that you can get an idea of what you can do with the Transit Connect, a very easy build using milk crates. Please like, subscribe, and share my video. That would really help. Even though I'm not monetizing, it is nice to get views. And I hope you enjoyed and will continue to enjoy my channel. I'm going to be posting a lot more videos showing my Transit Connect. I have a huge backlog, but in the meantime, I will be getting my SUV, my Toyota Highlander, ready for camping, and I will start taking new adventures in it. So you may see some of those videos even before all the Transit Connects are uploaded.